Get in the interview.
Oh, he's in it. All right, ready? So what's your name and where are you from?
My name is Garrett Corcoran. I'm originally from Villa Park, California.
Randy's looking righteous.
There he is.
Hey MTV, welcome to my crib. Come on in.
And how did you end up in Utah?
You know, there was just a real feeling inside me that said this is the place.
Like what specifically about being in the mountains you like?
Just always been drawn to the mountains. You know, they're the most beautiful landscapes in the planet we live in, and I like going and exploring them and getting on top of big peaks to get a nice view. And it's a great place to both escape from the, I guess, boring parts of everyday life and go challenge yourself a little bit, learn new skills.
So you say the best part of your day is probably being in the mountains?
The days that I get in the mountains, yeah, most of the time.
I thought the best part of your day was seeing Jimbo in the morning.
Oh, if I could see Jimbo in the mountains, that'd be top tier.
Who is Jimbo?
Jimbo's my roommate.
Is that his actual name?
I got a good picture of him for you guys. There he is. That's my guy Jimbo, and a dog that has Jimbo energy.
Oh, I was gonna say, which one's Jimbo?
Yeah, you can't tell them apart, right?
I think we met back in like 2021, right?
Yeah, it was spring 2021. I was logged onto Strava that day, and I saw I had a notification from some guy that was commenting on one of my activities, and he said, "Hey man, I don't have any friends in Utah, and I really think you seem like a cool guy who I would like to get out in the mountains with. What do you say?" And this was before Strava DM, so it was just out there in public, and I responded with my phone number. Mistake, huge mistake. I scrolled through his pictures on Strava afterwards, and it was just a bunch of with headphones in. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get along with this guy. Turned out that he liked getting stuck in bush even more than me, so I was like, okay, this guy's alright, even if he's a little bit of a nerd.
You've been here for, what, 4 years now? Had some adventures together and stuff like that. Is there anyone that sticks out?
Maybe a little bit of recency bias, but this year I went, we both went on a run after work off the North Ogden Divide. We went up Lewis Peak, and you know, beautiful trails up there in Weber County. Hardly anybody on them. People don't seem to, you know, really put any respect on them. They just want to be up in the cottonwoods all the time. But something about being out there just alone, just with your group, super nice. We ran up the trail to Lewis Peak and decided we were going to take some dumb way down. A little heat map that Jacob found on the map, and we went straight off the face and just saw where it took us, and we ended up coming down one of the coolest slabs I've had the pleasure of being on. You know, pretty chill, not super exposed, super pretty, and then we went home and went to work the next day, and those are kind of my favorite adventures in the Wasatch, at least for those little quiet after work ones that you can't really think much of and just kind of make up as you go. You end up in some cool places.
Okay, so I put out a little public poll with questions that people could write in, right? And 2 popped up that were the most popular questions, right? Okay, first one was, why do you like glizzies so much? And the second one was, why do you like getting naked so much?
I think I'm gonna answer the second one first,
yeah.
And I guess it's just part of feeling free in the mountains, man. Like, you take your clothes off, you just feel even more free than you did before. I feel like in most parts of my life, I'm a pretty big rule follower, and that's one place where I feel a little bit comfortable breaking the rules, is when I'm out in the mountains alone with, you know, my group of friends. So you know, it feels pretty liberating to get naked, and it's just kind of funny.
Just get naked with your friends?
Yeah, just get naked with the boys. You know, maybe there are girls there, but boys is a gender neutral term, so you know, you get naked with the boys either way.
Yeah. Do you think your relationship with the mountains has changed over the past maybe just a couple of years?
Since I moved to Salt Lake City, definitely it's gone through a lot of changes. I think before I moved here, I didn't really realize how diverse your adventures could be in the mountains. Like, had never heard of a split board, or even like hadn't really considered backcountry ski touring before I moved here. Never really thought about climbing at all, or like using ropes to get places. Not that I do that now, but I tried to get into it at some point. The first summer I was here, I did the whirl with Grant Barnett at the end of that summer, which was something that would have seemed pretty impossible to me about a year prior to that. And later that fall, I took a little tumble off a cliff in Capitol Reef National Park with our friend Luke, and that kind of made me take a step back, and I don't really get out and take as many risks anymore. Don't scramble quite as much with big exposure. And when I do, I like to make it more calculated risk. So I feel like as far as like my relationship with big exposed lines and stuff like that kind of went like this since I've been here, and like kind of plateaued somewhere a little bit in the middle. I think it's been pretty constant as far as like how much I like going fast in the mountains. Like, it's great to get out there and like see some cool things and move somewhat fast, but not like go and race when you're by yourself. Yeah, I probably talked enough about that.
What's the most down bad, and I was specifically referring to in the mountains, you've ever seen me?
Most down bad, well...
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough to pick
There's
just
so
one.
many.
We did the LaSalle Traverse. Me and him both had points where we were down bad for different reasons that day. Where like we were slowing the group up for one reason or another. Jacob was slowing the group up from the second we started the first uphill. I don't know what was wrong with him that day, but that was probably the least fit I've ever seen him. We were practically dragging him up every hill. I was slowing the group down later in the day when we were coming down these big scree slopes and knocking rocks against my ankles and getting really upset about it and just cussing and throwing rocks across the slope. So, we all had a little bit of it coming to us that day. I think the only person that truly felt really good the whole day was Luke.
Yeah.
He probably could have done that whole route an hour faster if he was by himself, but he stuck with the group.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, one last one before the rapid fire questions. I feel like we talk about a lot of random ass shit. Is there anything you can think, like a memorable quote, a funny topic that comes to your head that's like stuck with you for any reason?
Well, this was actually just brought up to me about an hour ago by my friend Arbel, who was visiting in September 2021 and met Jacob when he was out here. And right after he had met Jacob, Jacob posted this Strava with the title that said, "All these mom emoji out here are gas emoji." And that has really stuck with me and the Hoagie Boys in San Francisco. Arbel still talks about it to this day. He said today that might have been the quote of the century when he was quoting it for something completely unrelated. It came to his head. And
That's insane.
yeah,
I totally remember
if
that.
you haven't been to Salt Lake City and you're looking for love, just know that all the mommies here are gas. Jacob
That's
said.
insane. I did not see that coming. I got 5 questions, and I'm thinking you got 5 seconds for each of them. There's no consequences if you don't do 5 seconds, but that's the game. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Who's hotter, Aubrey Meijer or Mike McMonagle?
Mike McMonagle, but it's close.
Favorite guest of the Single Track podcast, hosted by Finn Melanson?
I'd have to listen to his podcast to know that.
Colorado or Utah?
Oh, Colorado, easy, yeah.
Obviously way better. Okay, F, marry, kill. Luke Ganji Wellman, Brandon Selbig, or Sean O'Connor?
I'm gonna kill Sean O'Connor because he might pull his chainsaw on me if I don't. I'll marry Luke and fuck Brandon.
Yeah, correct. What's one place you've always wanted to be naked in that you never have been?
This house.
Alright, we'll call it at that. Thanks for tuning in. That's episode 1. Garrett Corcoran.